Good morning, everyone. This is Timothy Hood, Computer Applications class, Miss Randall. My group name is 3 the Hard Way. It consists of Marlene Garza and Ebony Johnson, and I am Timothy Hood. I will tell you now, the first 3 or 4 pages I won't be showing because you're going to have to make changes down the line, and I'll walk you through it, and I will still show you my evening and tables page. So let's get to it. Here on page 434 is the overview of section 6.1, or the visual overview in the structure of the web. As with anything, this is what we're going for on page 436 if you look here at the bottom. Of course, we're going to have more color with it, but initially this is what we're going for. Now, as with any page, the first thing you want to do is you're going to use your editor to open up the DLR_evenings_txt.html. The first thing Ms. Randall taught us that we always do is put our name, our date, and then you're going to enter, you're going to save the file DLR_evening.html. It's very important once you get in there that you change this file and save it with that .html, because all the changes you make on it will be reflected. But if you don't put that down on there, it's not going to know where to go. It's not going to know what to read. There are steps and rules to this. So once we place that information in, the first thing we want to do is we're going to scroll down the document and the section element with the ID main, and we're going to add the following table and TR elements after the initial paragraph in this section, and that's one of the examples I'm showing you on screen now. That's on page 437. Now, once we've implemented that, we're going to go, you're still in DLR_evenings HTML. You're still in that one. We're going to primarily be coding and working out of that one. Okay, where it says DLR nightly schedule, right below that you see that paragraph is closed. You're going to add the table class in the schedule. The reason that you're looking at it and this way right now is because this is the second part. This is what I meant by I couldn't type it through, because you would have to see what's added later. So, but to still put that in correctly, you're going to add that from page 438. It should look identical to that. The table class, the table element marks the web table, and the TR element marks each table row. We're gonna, one of the other things that's important for everyone to know is marking table headings and table data. Web tables support 2 types of table cells: header cells that contain content usually placed at the top of a column or the beginning of a row, and data cells that contain content within those columns and rows. A header cell is marked with the TH element. The default browser style for header cells is to display the text of the header in bold font and centered horizontally within the cell. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to mark table header cells. Now, in the first row of the table you just created in the DLR_evenings.html file, you want to create header cells by inserting the following TH elements. As you can see, whatever we open, we close. We're going to do the days of the week, Monday through Sunday. Now, since these header cells are nested within a TR element, they will all appear within the same table row. You'll see the example on page 439. This is what it should look like under that DLR nightly schedule. Next, you want to save your changes, and you want to kind of look at your page as you go along so you can see, what you have. Next, what we're going to do on page 440, we're going to mark table data cells. Now, within the second row of the table, you want to add the following 7 TD elements after the initial TH elements. Also want to tell you down the road, though you may not see them on my page now, we're going to make a lot of these that I'm looking at now. You're going to make those changes as we go. As you can see here on the screen, I have table class, their schedule, my caption. that's what I meant by I couldn't make the changes now to walk you through it because my typing is so atrocious. But towards the end of the tutorial, you'll see where that caption and all of this becomes important. Next, if you look at page 441, marking the table data cells, the TD element marks table cell content that is not considered the head of a row or column. If you look at the bottom, after you refresh your page, your evenings page, it should look like that figure. Next, we're going to add table borders with CSS. Now, we're going into a separate page, and one of the other main pages of this tutorial was, you see I'm on my evening page? Now I'm going to switch over to my table page. You see how I have them both minimized at the bottom because as I do the tutorial, I'm making changes to the file and I'm refreshing it when I go into the evening by double clicking. If something doesn't look right, that automatically tells me I have to go back to my coding pages, which are the evening and table pages. Now we're going to get into adding borders. DLR underscore tables underscore txt.css. As always, the first thing you want to do is enter your name and date, and you want to save it. But this time, instead of .html, we're going to save it .css. Now, within the table cell style section, you're going to start adding the following rules. And if you look on page 443, this is what we'll be implementing in code-wise. Once we've implemented these changes, we're going to hit save, but I want to take you to that table styles. Now you see where I have my cursor, you see the table, you see background, border, font, and width. You don't see border collapse. That's because that's what I meant by it's going to come into play later, but if you follow the steps correctly, your page will look like mine, the one that I showed you in the very beginning, which is what we're going for. Next, what we want to do is we're going to stay in table, but this time that border collapse I was telling you about, we're going to add it. If you look on page 446, you want to add the style border collapse to the style rule for the scheduled table. Figure 611 highlights the newly added style. If you look right there below at 612, this is what we're going for. When you put that basically that rule in, this is what we're going for. All right, let's keep going. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create a column spanning cell. We're going to return this time to the DLR underscore evenings. We're going to go back to that page. You want to go to the scheduled table, and for the second table cell in both the second and third rows of the table, you want to add the attribute colspan equal quotation 7 quotation to the opening TD tag. If you look right here at the example on figure 613, this is what it means by the colspan. This should take you back. I want to point this out. I couldn't show you this initially in the beginning when we were doing with the dates of the week and everything that we needed to put because we were going to come back. And if you look right here on your screen, you see that TD colspan 7 national news. You're also going to see that TD colspan 7 world news. That's why it was important for me to kind of walk you through and show you the pages, because the way you start isn't the way you're going to end by the end of the tutorial. But if you take your time and follow each calculated step, there's no reason your page can't come through. What I had to learn was doing these tutorial is to take my time, make sure you're rested, blow that picture up if you have to so you can see every little bitty thing you're putting on that screen, because a misled quotation, question mark, hashtag, anything can throw your page totally off. Back to the tutorial. Now, if we go to page 449, we want to return to the DLR underscore evening.html. This time, directly above the closing table, we're going to insert the following table row. This is, let me go down so I can show you this example. My first tutorial doing this, bear with me, but I like to give visuals with everything I'm doing, and I'm trying not to talk you to death. If you see the TD row span, you see the 2 all the way down with the exception of wordplay and agri-week. This is how you want to implement and put that in there. You notice that colspan, TD colspan equals 7. There it is. still right in there. All right. On page 450, this is everything that I was highlighting for you people to see. You're going to insert cells that span 2 rows. If you look down the page, figure 617, this is what we're going for if we implemented figure 616 correctly. Now, for us to wrap this baby up, we're looking at, you see the times where I have the code span 6 p.m., 6:30, 7, 7:30, 8, and so forth. This is basically the last step, but I want to tell you, take your time when inputting these codes. You see all of this? One thing you have to keep in mind, for the most part, the rule is anything that's open needs to be closed unless there are some rules that apply where it doesn't have to have open and close. But for the most part, anything that we open, we want to close, so you want to pay careful attention to all of your steps. Now on page 452, we're adding the remaining DLR programs. And these are the times. Scrolling down, you see the world news, the section. Keep in mind, anything open, closed, the table is closed off. I keep scrolling, making my way down. Now we're at my ending. When everything pans out, and if you put these codes in correctly, this is what your page should look like. My name is Timothy Hood. I hope you have enjoyed my first ever tutorial, 6-1, from that pimped out group at Texas Southern University, 3 the hard way, because that's the way we roll, baby, and we all seniors. See you later.